You have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world. You will witness what happens here today and tell of it later. Except you won't, because I'll have killed you. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Boondock Saints. That's right, the favorite movie of one Alexander Anderson, at least according to Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. This movie is one that I've wanted to see specifically because of that for a long time. Ever since the first time that I watched through Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, I have wanted to see the Boondock Saints and just never got around to it for one reason or another. And no one's ever requested it until now. This was requested by our anonymous donator, the one who wishes to remain anonymous and has donated for various things in the past. So thank you again, Anon, for your donation. And yeah, Boondock Saints. I know nothing about what this actual movie is. I just know there's a couple quotes and everything mentioned in Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. That's literally all I know about the film. I don't know who's in this. I don't know when this came out. I don't know anything regarding its story. I'm pretty blind here. So, as I've stated before, that's a good thing, because I like to go into movies as blind as possible. And honestly, funny enough, I had to look up that quote I said in the cold open just to remember exactly how it went. And the last part of it, the "but you won't because I'll have killed you," that's original from Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. That part wasn't from the original quote in this movie. But I'm very curious to see, like, how many quotes exactly I recognize in here. But also to see, like, who's in this and if any actors I know are the ones who say them and whatnot. Again, I don't know anything about this. I don't know what to expect at all. The title, Boondock Saints, doesn't really tell me much. Boondocks refers to, like, a neighborhood or something like that, right? Because the term is used for, obviously, the series The Boondocks as well. And I think it's like a reference to, like, a neighborhood to some degree. Let me see if I can look that up. But you add in the title of Saints, and that makes me think maybe like some kind of gang thing. Okay. A rough, remote, or isolated country. So not like a neighborhood. I was kind of in the right area, just I was thinking too small. So, like, yeah, like, it even gives, like, a quote here as an example. We're out here in the boondocks, miles away from a telephone. So, yeah, it just looks like, yeah, desolate or uninhabitable country, remote, rural, or provincial area, provincial area. Sometimes shortened to the boonies. That I should have guessed it from that. I've heard the boonies used honestly more than the boondocks. So we have a country that's going to be like very isolated, very out in the middle of nowhere, and we have like a group I guess called the Boondock Saints. And again, that makes me think of a gang, but like a gang in the middle of nowhere? Unless it's like referring more to like Christian wording with saints. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm curious because again, I have no idea what to expect with this film at all. Um, Hoping it turns out to be really good. I'm hoping my knowledge of it from Hellsing Ultimate Abridged does not let me down. Um, So I guess let's just get into this and see what we have in store. So let's do it. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. You know what this makes me think of? Like, this very much feels very Tarantino-like to me. This movie comes across as like almost like a Tarantino film, with obviously not as necessarily as much style, because Tarantino's known for like his style with his films, his like specific elements that he is like puts into like the production and the directing, and specific like zoom in shots and whatnot. This is obviously not quite there in terms of stuff like that, but a lot of the actual style, or a lot of the actual like vibes of this film still feel very much in that kind of wheelhouse. So that's pretty interesting to me. I wonder if like Tarantino, like what Tarantino thinks of this film. Uh that being said, like I said in the pre-thoughts, I went into this movie knowing nothing. All I knew about this movie was that some quotes for it were used in Hellsing Ultimate Abridged, and that it was directly referenced as being from Boondock Saints. That's it. I didn't know when this came out. I didn't know who was in this. I didn't know anything about that. Um, so I didn't go into this with much of any like expectations. I went into this just looking to enjoy the film, hoping that it ended up being good, and seeing just why those quotes were used in Hellsing Ultimate Abridged for Alexander Anderson. For those who don't know, with Hellsing Ultimate and Alexander and even the Abridged series, um, the character of Alexander Anderson is an Irish priest. That alone should tell you why those quotes were used for him in the Abridged series. But yeah, he's an Irish priest who wields bayonets and goes after who he deems to be evil. Mainly monsters and those who perpetuate monsters. That should tell you everything you need to know. There's definitely the connection there, and you can definitely see how you could connect a character like that with the Saints in this. That being said, this was fucking amazing. Like, outside of just Willem Dafoe's phenomenal performance in this, like, he stole the show, obviously. Um, Everything about this, the writing, the direction, the just everything about how it was shot, the cinematography and all, the soundtrack, it was so entertaining. The way like scenes would go into flashbacks and everything, and how it was paced out, everything about it. And I enjoyed the action, I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the characters. Like, Connor and Murphy McManus are like really well conceived characters. And I liked the twist. There were two notable twists for me in this that I really didn't see coming. Some other people might have, I didn't. First, the twist that the detective, the agent, Smecker, I think was his name, that he ended up having a crisis of faith, ended up becoming like an ally to the Saints. That surprised me. I thought he was going to continue to hunt them down. The fact that he became an ally actually really surprised me. The second was Il Duce being their father. That one I feel like some people probably could have guessed, but it just never crossed my mind. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. One, Billy Connolly's Scottish, not Irish, right? So it's like I wasn't thinking about that. It didn't cross my mind because of that. At least I think he is. Now I have to check. Um, Now I have to check because now I'm not 100% confident in that. Da, 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 da. Yeah, he was born in Anderston, Glasgow, Scotland. Yeah, I was right. Look at me, I know stuff. Yeah, he's Scottish, and knowing that, it's like I just didn't think he would be related because being Scottish and being Irish are two very different things. Um, so it just never crossed my mind. I mean, I guess he was just playing an Irish character in this, though. On top of that, I just had no reason to think that. I guess there were the hand tattoo thing going on and everything, but I don't know. It's just I didn't think about that or whatnot. I don't think I even noticed that until the end, pretty much, when they were like highlighting them. Um, yeah, I never really considered the idea. Like they had mentioned like the prayer came from their father and his father before him and stuff, and it's like, okay, fair enough. But I didn't think we'd necessarily see their father. I also like had no reason to believe that this Il Duce would have any connection to anyone in that way. We just saw him as like this merciless, horrific killer and everything. So yeah, it's just no reason to think about that either. So okay, there were probably hints, and some people watching this probably would have guessed that. I didn't. Um, but yeah, I liked Rocco as well. Sometimes like characters like that who are clearly there to be kind of comic relief and everything can come across as a bit annoying. But Rocco actually felt like a really interesting character himself. Like he had a lot going for him too, and didn't just come across as a comic relief. But the thing is, they even kind of acknowledged in the film that that's kind of his role. He's the funny man. It's like so it was kind of self-referential in that way, a little fourth wall break sort of. So it's like, yeah, he was definitely meant to be that kind of character, but they acknowledged that and still made him a little more. We saw how close he was with the brothers, and we saw how like devastated they were with his death and everything. Though it was obvious he was going to die. It's just like, yeah, it's wild. It's so unexpected and crazy. Um, I think the acting was all fantastic. Like even outside of Willem Dafoe, who was like obviously the standout. Norman Reedus did great. Connor McMurphy, I think, was the actor. No, Connor's the character. Connor McMurphy's the what am I? Hold on. Was it Sean? Sean Patrick Flannery. Yeah, he did a fantastic job. Billy Connolly, for as small of a role as he had. Let's be honest, his role was not big. He did great. I just I thought the acting was all top notch. The direction was great too, like the way they like would fade to black after like important scenes, the way they would cut into certain scenes. That one shot where they're like assailing the house and you see Willem Dafoe's character like miming it out with them, like in the shots with them, but they're not like paying attention. It's like because he's not really there, it's part of him telling what happened. That was so inspired. That was such a phenomenally done scene. Probably the best scene of the film, if we're being honest. But yeah, it's just I genuinely really loved this. I thought it was like fantastic on all levels. I I definitely need to see this movie again to really get like a good feeling for how I'd rank it exactly. Because I want to definitely look through it and see if there were like a lot more hints at certain things beforehand. Like if there were hints that like um that Smecker would eventually like side with them. If there were hints that of Il Dolce being their father, I want to see like if there's more to that, you know. And I just want to see how things connect a little more, having seen it now. I want to be able to like look into it. It's one of those kind of movies that I feel like would benefit from a second watch just for that. And I'll see if like there's any reactions or whatnot on YouTube that I can watch that um, would help me with that as well. Because sometimes other people will notice things that I don't as well, so that helps too. Um, but I love this. I would not call this a perfect film necessarily. Like it's not going to be like that high up for me, but this was fantastic. This is definitely a movie I am so happy that I got to see. And big thanks to Anon, the anonymous donator, for donating for this. Um, Thank you for allowing me to check this out finally, because I don't know why I just never checked this out. Because Helsing Ultimate Abridged has been out for a long ass time. It's like I could have seen this at any time and I just never did. I'm surprised I stayed as spoiler free about it because this movie came out in '99, and it's just like I just never found out anything about this. I've heard people talk about it, but never like in detail, you know? Oh, also I found out apparently like I don't know, like a week or so before the test screening for this movie came out. Apparently that's when the Columbine massacre happened, and that this movie had a limited release because of that. Which you know, fair, like really fucking fair. That's I would call that an unfun fact because that's like really devastating to hear about, to find out about. I looked that up. Like I was looking things up afterwards, as I typically do. Um, and that's something I saw there, and it's just like, oh, I that makes me really sad and upset. Yeah, I had no idea what I was going to go into with this, though. I had no idea what to expect, and it wasn't this. I was not expecting a movie about vigilante Irish brothers working together with their dumbass Italian friend to take out mobsters. I would never have guessed that. It never would have crossed my mind. That's so fun, for lack of a better word. Sucks that it came out when it did, and what happened obviously was horrific, and it makes sense that this got a limited release and everything, but from what I gathered, this movie did pretty well. It has a sequel, and apparently a third movie is actually in development, which is wild. Um, And from what I have here, let me bring this up real quick. From what I'm seeing here about this, about the third one, where is it? Yeah, it was officially announced in November of 2021, and Norman Reedus and Sean Flannery, are going to reprise their roles as Connor and Murphy McManus, and the same director's even coming back. Production was slated to begin in May 2022. In March of 2024, apparently a bunch of film groups announced a reimagining of the franchise. Okay, so Duffy's not returning as director anymore, but Reedus and Flannery are still reprising their roles. Apparently there's a comic book and video game as well. But yeah, there is... Apparently the third film's been like... They've been trying to make it since 2014, according to this. But yeah, the second film came out in 2009. So there's that. I didn't see... let me look up. There's one last thing I want to look up here real quick, because it was one of the big questions I had. Did Willem Dafoe win awards for Boondock Saints? Okay, so according to this, he did not. There's actually a Wikipedia page specifically for awards that he's won. Wow. Apparently, according to this, Willem Dafoe has never won an Academy Award, British Academy Film Award, Golden Globe, or Screen or Actors Guild Award, SAG Award. He has been nominated for all of them multiple times, but has never actually won. And I'm not seeing this movie on any of them. Here's a couple that he won. He won some Independent Spirit Awards for Shadow of the Vampire and The Lighthouse. But that's it from major associations. The Austin Film Critics Association gave him an award for The Florida Project. The Berlin International Film Festival gave him one honorary Golden Bear, whatever that means. He won for Antichrist with the Bodil Awards. One for the Florida Project with Boston Society of Film Critics. And for the Chicago Film Critics Association. Lighthouse for Columbus Film Critics Association. Oh, he won a Critics' Choice Super Award for Spider-Man No Way Home. And it's mostly just that stuff. Just the little things like that. He has not actually won any big awards. That is crazy. The fact that apparently he wasn't even nominated for this movie is insane. His performance in this was phenomenal, and he deserved Best Supporting Actor for this, honestly. Like, he absolutely would have deserved it. That's insane. That's just it's crazy to me. But yeah, this movie was absolutely wonderful. It was a great watch. It was just an absolute fantastic film. I loved every part of it. I'm so glad I got to see it. So tell me in the comments below what you thought of this movie, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.